Do you remember the last time you climbed the stairs without holding onto the railing? Or stood up from a chair without having to push yourself up? Some changes in our bodies arrive quietly. No warnings. No clear signs. Then one day, you realize your legs just aren't what they used to be. You tire more easily after just a few steps. You avoid the stairs. And slowly, you start saying no to things that once felt so simple. We often think, I guess this is just part of getting older. But the truth is, not necessarily. Age doesn't take the strength from your legs, your daily habits do. And here's the good news, you can take that strength back. You don't grow weaker because you age. You grow weaker when you stop caring for your legs. Today, I want to take you on a journey. A journey to reconnect with your strength. To help you rebuild the power, balance, and freedom in your legs, whether you're in your 60s, 70s, or beyond. Together, we'll explore. Simple foods that hold surprising power for your muscles. Cross-mark common mistakes that quietly lead to leg weakness. Flexed biceps and an actionable plan to help you stay steady, strong, and independent. Stick with me until the end of this video. Because just one small change today could be the very thing that keeps you from a dangerous fall tomorrow. Strength doesn't come from your age. It comes from the choices you make today. So let's get started. 1. The silent enemy, why your legs are getting weaker without you knowing. Let me tell you a quick story. A few months ago, my neighbor Jack, he's 68, told me something that stuck with me. He said, I used to walk to the mailbox every morning without thinking. Now, I pause halfway just to catch my breath. Jack hasn't had an injury. He doesn't have any major medical conditions. But something changed. Slowly. Silently. And it's not just Jack. You see, most people don't realize their legs are getting weaker, until one day, they do. Not because they fell. Not because they were in pain. But because, they started avoiding the stairs. They began choosing the elevator, even for just one floor. They stopped squatting down to pick things up. And before they knew it, the muscles in their legs started shrinking. This condition even has a name, sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass due to aging. But here's the key most people miss. It doesn't happen because we're getting older. It happens because we stop using our muscles the way we used to. Let me ask you. When was the last time you did something that truly challenged your legs? When did you last get up from the floor without holding on to something? Or walk up a steep hill just because? If you can't remember, you're not alone. The silent enemy here isn't age. It's inactivity. It's the slow, daily decision to move less. And over time, it adds up. One day, it's harder to get out of a chair. The next, standing for more than 10 minutes feels exhausting. And eventually, a single fall can change everything. But here's the good news. Just as leg weakness can creep in over time, so can leg strength. With the right habits, the right movement, and especially the right nutrition, you can rebuild what was lost. You can feel steady again. Lesson of the day? Don't wait until your legs give you a wake-up call. Start listening now, while they're still whispering. And speaking of what your legs are whispering, let's talk about one thing that most people get wrong when trying to get strong again. They think exercise alone is the answer. But the truth? Without the right foods, your muscles won't stand a chance. Let's dive into that, starting with a surprisingly powerful root vegetable you probably already have in your kitchen. 2. Nutrition versus exercise, why eating right is the missing piece. A few weeks ago, I had coffee with my Aunt Linda. She's 72, full of energy, and has always been someone who moves a lot, walking every morning, doing light yoga, staying active. But that day, she said something that surprised me. I've been exercising regularly, but my legs still feel weak, like they're running on empty. So I asked her, "What have you been eating?" She looked at me and laughed, "Mostly toast, coffee, and whatever's quick." And right there, it hit me. Most people think they can exercise their way out of weakness. That as long as they keep moving, they're doing enough. But what they don't realize is, muscles don't just run on movement. They run on fuel. Let me explain. Every time you move, whether it's walking, climbing stairs, or even standing, your muscles go through tiny tears. This is normal. It's how we get stronger. But in order to rebuild, your body needs the right materials: protein to repair, vitamins to protect, minerals to support function. And if those materials aren't there, you don't rebuild. You stay tired. You stay weak. It's like trying to build a house with no bricks. You can hammer all you want, but nothing will stand. This is why someone like Aunt Linda, who moves a lot, can still feel weak. Because movement without nutrition is like a car without gas. It looks good sitting there. But it's not going anywhere. And it's not just older adults. I've seen gym-goers in their 30s and 40s struggle with the same thing. Hours at the gym, but still feeling sore, slow, or stuck. Almost always, the missing piece is what's on their plate. Lesson of the day: strength doesn't come just from effort. It comes from how you fuel that effort. So if you've been exercising but not seeing results, if your legs still feel heavy, tired, or unstable, maybe it's time to stop pushing harder and start eating smarter. And that brings us to one of the most powerful, underestimated foods you can add to your day. It's sweet, it's simple, and it's probably already sitting in your pantry. Let's talk about the magic of sweet potatoes. 3. Sweet potatoes, more than just a carb. When I was growing up, my grandmother used to make roasted sweet potatoes every Sunday afternoon. She didn't call them superfoods. To her, they were just warm, comforting, and good for the soul. But what she didn't know was, she was actually giving us one of the best foods for muscle strength and energy. Let's break it down. As we age, our bodies don't store or use energy the way they used to. You might notice it as that afternoon slump. That moment when your legs feel heavy. You've still got things to do, but your body feels like it's already calling it a day. That's where sweet potatoes shine. Unlike white bread or sugary snacks that give you a quick spike and then a crash, sweet potatoes are full of complex carbohydrates. They release energy slowly and steadily, keeping your muscles fueled for longer, without the highs and lows. Think of it like this. White carbs are like a match, quick fire, then gone. Sweet potatoes? They're like a candle, steady, lasting, dependable. But they do more than just give energy. Sweet potatoes are also rich in vitamin A, which helps your muscles recover after movement. Remember those tiny muscle tears we talked about? Vitamin A helps repair them, making your legs feel less stiff, less sore, and more responsive day by day. And here's something most people don't realize. Sweet potatoes are packed with potassium, even more than bananas. Potassium is crucial for muscle contractions and nerve function. If you've ever had a sudden cramp in the middle of the night, or felt shaky after a long walk, low potassium might be the reason. And let's not forget fiber. A healthy gut helps your body absorb nutrients better, and sweet potatoes are a gentle, gut-loving food. Now, I know what some people might say. But aren't sweet potatoes just carbs? Yes, they are carbs. But they're the right kind, especially for older adults who need fuel that supports, not sabotages. Lesson of the day? Don't fear the carb, choose the right one. Sweet potatoes can power your day, your legs, and your long-term mobility. So how do you enjoy them? Roasted with olive oil. Mashed with a sprinkle of cinnamon. Tossed into salads or added to smoothies. They're easy, affordable, and delicious. And most importantly, they support your freedom to move. Now that you know how to fuel your muscles with the right kind of energy, let's talk about something just as important: recovery, oxygen, and circulation. Which brings us to a simple, often overlooked grain that can quietly transform your leg strength. Let's talk oats. For oats and the forgotten power of iron and magnesium. A while back, my friend Carol called me, frustrated. She's in her early 60s and had just started going for morning walks again. But after just 10 minutes, her legs would feel heavy, like she was dragging bags of sand. She said, "It's not even that I'm out of breath, it's like my legs just don't want to move." And I knew exactly what was going on. See, when we talk about muscle strength, most people jump straight to protein. And yes, protein matters. But there are two essential nutrients your muscles desperately need that often go unnoticed: iron and magnesium. And here's where oats, yes, the humble, often overlooked oats, come into the spotlight. Brain, let's start with iron. Iron is what helps carry oxygen in your blood. Without enough of it, your muscles don't get the oxygen they need to perform, especially your legs, which work harder than you think just holding you up. When your iron is low, it doesn't always show up as dizziness or fatigue. Sometimes it just feels like your legs are giving up early. And unfortunately, many older adults, especially women, are mildly iron deficient and don't even know it. Oats are a plant-based source of iron. They may not give you as much as red meat, but they're easy on the stomach, kind to your heart, and when paired with something rich in vitamin C, like strawberries or kiwi, they're even better absorbed. Flex biceps. Now let's talk magnesium. Magnesium is like the calm down mineral. It keeps your muscles relaxed, prevents cramps, and supports smooth, steady movement. Ever woken up at night with a sharp calf cramp? Or felt like your legs twitch when you're trying to fall asleep? That could be your body crying out for magnesium. Oats deliver a solid dose, gently, naturally, and they're also rich in fiber, which supports gut health. And remember, a healthy gut equals better nutrient absorption equals stronger legs. Sunrise. So what's the best way to eat oats? Forget boring mushy porridge. Try overnight oats with almond milk and berries. Or bake them into high-fiber breakfast bars. Even a sprinkle of oats on top of Greek yogurt can do the trick. Lesson of the day: sometimes, the strongest changes come from the simplest foods. And oats, gentle, grounding, and rich in overlooked minerals, can quietly give your legs exactly what they need to keep going. And once your legs have fuel, and the minerals to support oxygen and muscle function, let's not forget about the joints, the hinges that carry you, turn with you, and keep you balanced. To take care of those, we turn to one of the creamiest, most misunderstood foods out there. Let's talk avocados. 5. Avocados, your joint's best friend. A few years ago, my uncle Robert, he's in his 70s now, told me something I'll never forget. He said, "My legs feel fine. It's my knees that won't cooperate." He could still walk, but every step came with a wince. Not because of his muscles, but because his joints were stiff, swollen, and sore. He had always been active, loved gardening, walking the dog, fixing up old furniture. But lately, he had started avoiding those things. Not out of laziness, but because every bend, every turn, every step, hurt. So I asked him about his diet. And guess what was missing? Healthy fats. Avocado. Let's talk about avocados. They're more than just the trendy toast topper. They're one of the most joint-friendly foods you can eat. Avocados are rich in monounsaturated fats, the kind of fats that help reduce inflammation in the body. And inflammation is the root cause of so many joint issues. That morning stiffness, the slow creak in your knees, that dull ache after a long walk. Unlike saturated fats, like those in fried foods or processed snacks, that make inflammation worse. The fats in avocados do the opposite, they soothe. They also contain vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant that helps protect your joints and muscles from wear and tear. Think of it like oiling the hinges of a squeaky door. It keeps things moving smoothly. High voltage, but here's the part most people miss. Avocados are also loaded with potassium, more than bananas, actually. And potassium helps regulate muscle contractions and nerve signals. If you've ever felt like your legs hesitate, or if your balance feels a bit off, potassium might be the missing link. Uncle Robert started adding just half an avocado to his daily lunch. Not long after, he called and said, "I'm back in the garden again. No pain. I forgot how good that feels." Lesson of the day: the strength of your legs doesn't just depend on your muscles. It depends on how smoothly your joints let you move. And avocados? They're nature's little gift to your joints, creamy, nourishing, and full of exactly what your body craves to move without pain. So, next time you slice open an avocado, remember, you're not just making a snack. You're investing in the freedom to bend, walk, climb, and live fully. Now that we've talked about soothing your joints, let's move on to something just as important: protecting your muscles from the inside out. And for that, we turn to nature's tiny defenders: berries. 6. The berry effect: tiny fruits, massive impact on muscle protection. My neighbor, Helen, is 74 years old and still volunteers at the local library 3 days a week. She's sharp, witty, and moves with a lightness that honestly puts some 40-year-olds to shame. One day, we were chatting over tea, and I asked her, "What's your secret?" She smiled and said, "Berries. Every morning. Rain or shine." At first, I thought she was joking. But she wasn't. She swears by her morning bowl of yogurt topped with blueberries, strawberries, and a few raspberries. And you know what? She's onto something powerful. Strawberries. So what makes berries so special for your muscles? Let's start with something we all deal with, especially as we age: oxidative stress. It's what happens when our cells get damaged from everyday wear and tear, kind of like rust forming on a car. And it's a major reason why our muscles feel sore, stiff, or slower to recover. It even speeds up aging. But here's the good news. Berries are packed with antioxidants, which help fight that stress at a cellular level. Every time you eat a handful of berries, you're giving your muscles armor, helping them stay strong, recover faster, and age more gracefully. Anger symbol, but there's more: chronic inflammation. It's one of the sneakiest causes of muscle loss and joint pain. You may not see it or even feel it directly at first. But over time, it builds up, making your movements stiffer, your joints ache, and your recovery slower. Berries are one of nature's most powerful anti-inflammatory foods. They don't just mask the symptoms, they help address the root cause. Plus, they're full of vitamin C, which is key for making collagen, the protein that keeps your muscles, tendons, and joints flexible and strong. Think of collagen like the scaffolding that holds your body together. As we age, we produce less of it. But with the help of vitamin C, and a daily handful of berries, you can keep that structure supported. And the best part? They're easy to enjoy. Frozen, fresh, tossed into a smoothie or sprinkled on oatmeal, berries are versatile, delicious, and naturally low in sugar compared to other fruits. Lesson of the day: you don't need big solutions to protect your muscles. Sometimes, it's the tiny things that make the biggest difference. So, just like Helen, maybe it's time to start your day with a handful of berries. Your muscles, your joints, even your brain will thank you. And speaking of powerful food, there's one more that deserves a spotlight. It's rich in protein, loaded with healthy fats, and known for supporting not just your body, but your brain and your heart, too. Let's dive into the strength behind salmon. 7. Salmon and omega-3, fueling muscle and mind. I remember visiting my dad a few summers ago. He had just turned 70, and like many people at that age, he started noticing his legs getting tired faster. Not painful, just tired. Slow to respond. A little shaky when standing up too quickly. But there was something else he mentioned that caught my attention. He said, "My thoughts feel slower. Like I'm walking through fog some days." That's when we made a small, simple change. We added salmon to his meals twice a week. And within a month, his legs felt stronger. His mind felt clearer. He didn't feel like he was slowing down anymore, he felt steady again. Fish. So what makes salmon such a powerhouse? First, salmon is one of the best sources of high-quality protein, which your muscles need to rebuild and stay strong. Every time you move, even just getting up from a chair, your muscles experience micro-tears. Protein helps repair those tears and build you back stronger. But the real magic? It's in the omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3s are healthy fats that help reduce inflammation, not just in your joints, but inside your muscles and even your brain. That inflammation is what makes your knees ache, your legs feel stiff, and your thoughts feel foggy. When your body has enough omega-3s, your joints move easier, your recovery is quicker, and your coordination improves. You don't just move better, you think and react better too. Light bulb, there's more. Salmon is also packed with vitamin B12, which plays a huge role in energy production and nerve health. Without enough B12, your muscles don't get the signals they need to move smoothly. You may feel off balance, fatigued, or even a little weak, no matter how much you rest. So if your legs have felt tired without reason, if your steps feel less confident, or your mind less sharp, it might not be just age. It might be missing nutrients. And salmon? It brings those nutrients back to the table, literally. Green salad, simple ways to enjoy it. Grill it with lemon and herbs. Flake it over a salad. Even canned salmon mixed with a little olive oil and lemon juice can be a quick, powerful meal. Lesson of the day? Strength is never just physical. When you nourish your muscles, brain, and heart, everything begins to feel lighter, clearer, stronger. So whether you're 40 or 80, a couple servings of salmon a week could mean the difference between slowing down and staying sharp. Now, before we wrap things up, there's one more food I want to share with you. It's simple, affordable, and it's been a favorite of athletes, doctors, and grandmas for decades. Let's talk about the power of eggs. 8. Eggs, the most complete food for aging muscles. When I was a kid, my mom used to make scrambled eggs for breakfast almost every morning. At the time, I just thought they were quick and easy. But now, I realize, she was actually giving us one of the most complete foods on the planet. Fast forward a few decades. Now it's my turn to remind her, don't skip your eggs, Mom. Your muscles still need them. Cooking. So what makes eggs so powerful, especially as we age? Let's start with the obvious, protein. But not just any protein. Eggs contain what's called complete protein, meaning they have all 9 essential amino acids that your body needs to repair and build muscle. That's incredibly important, especially after age 50, when your muscle mass starts to decline more quickly. And here's the thing. You can exercise all you want, but if your body doesn't get the right amino acids, it can't rebuild what you've worked so hard to preserve. One egg has about 6 grams of high-quality protein, perfectly packaged in nature's own shell. Light bulb, but eggs go beyond just protein. They're also one of the few natural sources of vitamin D, which plays a critical role in muscle strength, balance, and fall prevention. Many older adults are low on vitamin D and don't even realize it. That lack can lead to weaker legs, slower reflexes, and even joint pain. And then there's choline, a nutrient most people have never heard of. But it's essential for nerve-to-muscle communication. It's what allows your brain to send a signal to your leg saying, "Hey, lift." And for your leg to actually respond. Without enough choline, those signals get fuzzy. And that's when you start to feel slow, unsteady, or disconnected from your own body. Eggs are one of the richest sources of choline in the modern diet. Egg, and the best part? They're simple. Boil them. Scramble them. Poach them. Toss one into your salad or pair with avocado on toast. You don't need a dozen eggs a day. Even one or two can make a noticeable difference in your energy, your strength, and your confidence when moving. Lesson of the day: never underestimate the power of simple, whole foods. The same egg that fuels an athlete can just as easily rebuild the strength in your legs. And now that we've explored 8 amazing foods that support leg strength, balance, and endurance, let's bring everything together. In the final part of this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to use these foods in your day-to-day life. With a simple, realistic plan that fits into your routine, no matter your age. Let's put the pieces together in a one-day muscle nutrition blueprint. 9. One fall away. What happens when leg strength fails you? A few years ago, a family friend named Joan, 76 years old, full of life, was rushing to answer the phone. She turned the corner a little too fast. One misstep. She fell. It didn't seem like a big deal at first. Just a slip. But that fall led to a fractured hip, which led to surgery, then weeks in a rehab center, and months of not feeling like herself anymore. What hurt the most wasn't the bone. It was the loss of confidence. The fear that crept in after. The way she hesitated to walk down the hallway alone. The way she stopped going out as much, even to her favorite Sunday market. And here's the truth most people don't talk about. It's not the fall that changes everything. It's what comes after it. According to the CDC, every 11 seconds, an older adult in the US is treated in the emergency room for a fall. And many of those falls are caused by something that sounds so small, but carries massive weight: weak leg muscles. Because when your legs can't support you, when your balance is off just by a little bit, the ground is always a moment away. Brain, but here's what's truly empowering. Falls aren't just a part of aging. They're often the result of neglected strength, especially in the lower body. Which means, they're often preventable. And every food you've heard about in this video, every nutrient, they're not just helping you feel better. They're helping you stay upright, steady, and independent. Joan eventually recovered. And she told me something beautiful. I thought I lost my freedom that day. But I got it back, one small choice at a time. That's what this is about. Not just avoiding pain, but holding on to the freedom to move, to walk, to live fully, without fear. Lesson of the day: you're always one small change away from protecting the life you love. And now, to help you take that next step, let me show you how to turn all of this knowledge into action. Coming up next, a simple, flexible, and delicious one-day nutrition plan that brings everything together, so you can stay strong, steady, and free to live the life you choose. Let's build it together. 10. The Action Plan, a one-day muscle nutrition blueprint. We've talked a lot in this video. About foods. About falls. About freedom. But now, let's bring it all down to something simple. Something you can actually do today. Because knowledge is powerful. But only when you know how to use it. So let's build a one-day nutrition plan together. A blueprint. A small, realistic shift that could make a big difference in how your legs feel tomorrow. Sunrise morning, gentle fuel for a strong start. Breakfast. A bowl of oats topped with mixed berries. A hard-boiled egg. A cup of green tea or warm lemon water. Why it works. The oats give you complex carbs, iron, and magnesium. The berries bring antioxidants to fight inflammation. The egg gives you protein, vitamin D, and choline. It's a gentle, nourishing way to tell your muscles, we're starting the day strong. 12 o'clock midday, power and protection. Lunch. Grilled salmon over a bed of greens. Roasted sweet potatoes on the side. Sliced avocado with lemon and sea salt. Why it works. Salmon fuels your recovery with omega-3s and B12. Sweet potatoes give long-lasting energy and potassium. Avocado reduces joint inflammation and supports balance. This meal isn't just food, it's fuel and protection in every bite. Sunset evening, light but supportive. Dinner. Vegetable soup with a poached egg stirred in. A slice of whole grain toast with avocado. Optional, a small bowl of berries for dessert. Why it works. Warm, comforting, and easy on digestion. Still packed with nutrients to recover overnight. This kind of meal helps your body wind down, repair, and get ready for another day of confident movement. Hot beverage snacks. Keep it simple. A handful of nuts. Greek yogurt with oats and fruit. Or even half an avocado on toast. Lesson of the day. Strength isn't built in a single workout. It's built in the quiet, consistent choices, meal by meal, day by day. And this plan? It's not a diet. It's not strict. It's a guide, one that you can adjust, grow with, and turn into a habit that supports you for years to come. Because every time you choose foods that nourish, protect, and strengthen, you're choosing something far bigger. Your independence. Your balance. Your future. So now, I'd love to hear from you. Backhand index pointing right, which of these foods are already in your kitchen? Backhand index pointing right, which one surprised you the most today? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if this video resonated with you, give it a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell, because I've got more coming your way. Next time, we'll explore 3 surprising habits that weaken your legs without you realizing it, and how to fix them starting today. Until then, keep moving, keep nourishing, and above all, stay strong. You've got this.